Hi there, it's Azilia here from Tax World. Today I'd like to talk to you about Section 106 of the Taxes Consolidation Act 1997. Section 106 deals with a situation where a rented property is being sold and it is necessary to apportion rent payments and between the seller and the buyer. The seller, known as the vendor, and the buyer need to figure out who gets the rent payments and who covers the expenses during the time the property sale is being finalized. Rent payments that are made for the time before the sale is completed are usually given to the seller, while rent for the time after the completion goes to the buyer. Expenses are handled in a similar way. There might be situations where the seller receives rent that should belong to the buyer or pays expenses that should be covered by the buyer. In these cases, the seller acts like a trustee, holding the money or responsibility until the sale is complete. Rent received by the seller for the time after the sale should be held for the buyer. If the seller pays for expenses that are the buyer's responsibility, the seller might not get a tax deduction for them. The seller doesn't pay tax on rent that belongs to the buyer. Likewise, the buyer doesn't receive rent or pay expenses that have been allocated to the seller. This approach can also be used when an estate takes over contractual responsibilities. Let's look at an example. You agree to sell a property on the 1st of January, and the sale will be completed on the 1st of June. You receive rent of €5,000 for the period from the 1st of January to the 31st of March, and you are taxed on this amount. You receive another €5,000 on the 31st of March for rent from the 1st of April to the 30th of June. However, since the sale completes on the 1st of June, part of this rent, €1,667, belongs to the buyer. You are taxed only on €3,333 and hold the €1,667 for the buyer. The buyer gets the €1,667 and is taxed on it. I hope you found that useful, and I'll see you in the next video.